we're in the golden age for comedians. I think you got more comedians right now selling tickets, doing theaters, doing arenas. Comedy clubs are packed. Because you don't need the quote unquote machine anymore.
Right.
It used to be when I started, you needed a producer or a director or somebody to see something in you to put you on something. Now, as long as you got your phone, you can record anything you want, and you can put any clip, stand-up clip you want out there, and you never know what's going to go viral. I mean, look at the guy now is Matt Rife.
Yeah.
He's
Ohio boy, right?
Huh? He's Ohio, Columbus guy.
Yeah.
But he's a guy that, like, posts something on TikTok, goes to bed, wakes up the next morning, it's like 70 million people saw this joke, and he's like, what just happened? You know? And all of a sudden the clubs are just selling out. It's funny, like, as long as I've been doing this, I remember I was in Hartford, Connecticut, and Kev was coming 2 weeks after me, and he was already sold out. And I go, Kev's selling tickets like that? And same thing with Matt Rife. I was in Atlanta, and he was coming to a comedy club. This is like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and he was already sold out. And I go, Matt selling tickets like that? It's funny how you can see it coming in the comedy clubs. But to answer your question, like, it still holds true. Like, if you see a clip of somebody of a 2-3 minute bit and you don't like it, just keep it moving. Why do people feel like they have to, I have to say this?
Right.
You know, it's similar. I'll give you an example. Like, my brother passed away of a heroin overdose. The week after, I'm watching Saturday Night Live, and they're doing a sketch on heroin. And I have more people hitting me up like, aren't you mad? You gonna say something? I said, they're not. It's not like they said, oh, Gary Owen's brother died. Let's do this sketch. I go, and by the way, it was accurate. Right. It was how they acted. You know, like, my brother would have laughed if he would have saw it. So I think people think we're talking directly to them if we say, like, somebody in a wheelchair or somebody's got a big nose or whatever it is. You know, they're like, oh, he's talking about my cousin. And that's not what we're doing. We don't know you.
I feel like the Tom Brady roast was like, this, we're back. I don't know. I'm a fan of comedy. I watch guys like you and just other guys, and I felt like watching that roast, it had everything. Like, Nikki Glazer was great. I'm Hitchcliff. He was just going in on it. I thought that was, for me, it was like, damn, like, we're back. And again, I think you've always been there, but as far as just like nothing censored, we're gonna say what we want. It's on Netflix Live. Like, it was, I thought that event was incredible.
I think it's the cancel culture is starting to get, like, canceled now.
Yeah. They're canceling the cancel culture.
Yeah, like, people are sick of it.
We've jumped the shark. We've jumped the shark.
I mean, you see it. You see, like, a guy named, you see Andrew Schultz, or you see Shane Gillis, and the way they're pushing the envelope, and Tony Hedgecliffe and all that, it's like, you can see, like, oh, this is what we want. We want to go into these rooms and be uncomfortable. We want this dark humor, and no one, like, you know, nobody's taking it personal. You know, there's no malicious intent behind it, I should say.
Of course, I watched the Brady roast. I enjoyed the Brady roast. I did flinch, not because I thought any joke was, like, inappropriate, like, whoa, you crossed a line. And maybe it's because I have kids now, and we're gonna talk about all our kids in a minute here. I got some questions, and I got some things to get off my chest. But I was just watching some of it being like, oh, man, his kids are going to hear about that one at school. That's where my mind went to. Like, I would have found that at, like, 15 years old. I would have went to school, and then, like, now we're going to roast Brady's kid, you know? So I was just thinking about his kids walking in the next day after that roast. Not that I thought anything was over. It
was funny, though, dude.
It was very funny. It was too funny almost.
I'll give you an answer to that, Jerry. So when I had my reality show on BET, right?
Yep.
These couple girls was, like, talking a little stuff to my daughter, and she was like, she came home and she goes, I just, how they were talking to me and everything else. I said, hold on. You're on TV every week. They're at Panera getting a croissant. I said, you don't get judged, you judge them. So right now,
hell yeah,
you on TV. I was like, they're at Panera. I said, no, they don't get to judge you. And she kind of looked at me like, all right, I think I got it. You know, that's what I'd be doing if I was Brady's kids. Who are you? My dad's Tom Brady, bro.
Exactly.
When did your relationship, because you guys go back with Shaq, you guys go back almost since you started, right? pretty much like very early in your career.
He introduced me to my first wife.
I did not know that. He did?
She worked for him at Twism. Shaq used to have a record label and clothing line called Twism.
Yes, I remember.
She worked at Twism, and he brought his staff to a comedy club, and I was open micing at the time. This is like 98. And he brought him out to the Comedy Store one night, and that's where I literally met Shaq and her in the same night. And then
crazy.
I start going to like the Twism warehouse in Compton, and he'd be there sometimes. I'd be ganking all these shirts and shorts. I was so mad when he left the Lakers because they were in half my wardrobe because he shut Twism down.